So I finally gotten around to going on Craigslist and finding used computer parts. Everyone else is doing it, they seem to have good results, and I wanted to see what I could do myself. And so I stumbled upon a guy who was selling a bin of graphics cards. From the Craigslist picture, I couldn't really specify any specific model, any specific cooler, except for a few reference designs. I'm like, huh, what the hell? I'll go see what I can grab. He was selling each one for $30. And I went through all of them. There was a whole bunch I couldn't even specify, even no matter how hard I tried reading it. He didn't have a computer there to test, and I only had $30, like I said before. So I could only really get one. So I decided to pick up one that was NVIDIA, so I could at least have some kind of CUDA support, and see what it is. The cooler looked kind of relevant to the GTX 500 series and 400 series. So I'm like, huh, alright, since it looks like that, I might as well grab it, see what it is. What the hell, 30 bucks, not that big of a deal. I get home, I plug it in, I realize it is a GTS 450. The GTS 450 launched in Q3 of 2010. It is an old ass card. Nothing new. It has a 1 GB frame buffer, a 128-bit bus interface, and a core clock of 1566 megahertz. Sorry, MSI takes a little bit to load. I don't know why. But anyway, I was wondering, how well can a GTS 450 still game? So this is Battlefield 4 single player. And I understand that some people might say, oh, it's not multiplayer. Not real results, not real results. I just wanted to see how I could do. That's coming. Battlefield 4, 64 player, Siege of Shanghai is coming. I just wanted to see how this could do, considering it is a semi-recent title with a not-so-recent graphics card at all. I was really shocked because considering this came out in 2010 and the newest consoles came out just a few years ago, if not even, and look at this, compare Battlefield 4 on Xbox One or PS4, even if it's out, shit, I didn't do my research, but do it in your head. Do it in your head. It is just amazing. I thought medium settings at 720p will give us the best balance of both frame rate and visuals because as you see it can be hovering within the 45 to 60 area, and to me that is considered above console experience 45 to 60 fps or more, considering or depending on the quality of your hardware. But if you look at Battlefield 4 on the Xbox 360 or PS3, because I know for a fact it's out on that, I'm looking at one right now because my brother does have the Xbox 360, it looks like Battlefield Bad Company 2. Even worse, actually. And that is because that hardware is fucking ancient. I know this is newer than the Xbox 360, and it's no doubt to me that there shouldn't be a performance difference considering this would have been, at the time, imagine a modern DIY console build, console killer, whatever you want to say. This would have been the card that you would have put in that build at the time. So really, if you're comparing 2010 versus the Xbox 360 or PS3, you are actually getting a pretty awesome fucking product. And this is still completely playable. I have a GTX 970, and honestly, if someone were to throw me on this and I would immediately notice the 720p and medium settings. I actually would have noticed if it was 720p, but it's still freaking awesome. Like, this is extremely playable. Compare it to a console. It is nothing like this. This is above console in every stretch of the word. Oh my god. This is actually amazing. Wow. So here is Battlefield 4 multiplayer, using the same exact settings, and everything was the same as it was in the single player test. And if you look at these frame rates, it does fucking work. The GTS 450 right here does some work. I sadly couldn't overclock it because I didn't have the time to install the drivers because I had to go to work right after recording this. But, and MSI Afterburner doesn't even recognize this card yet, so I thought my GTX 970 driver would work. It doesn't. Yeah, mind that scope bug. It eventually fixes itself after a few rounds of spawning. I ask other people what happens to them. I don't play Battlefield 4 enough to even cheat, so it doesn't even matter. But look at these fucking frame rates. I understand that Battlefield 4 could somewhat be CPU dependent, but it's also a huge GPU fucking, I'm not going to say killer, because it's not, but it does make some work go on a GPU. And for a card that came out in 2010 and a title that came out at Q3 2013 or 2014, this is when the R9 290 and the GTX 970 came out. It does amazing, extremely playable, a great freaking budget card. If you want to go out and spend $40, you can find those on eBay right now for $40. It's honestly fantastic. No, it's not the most power efficient. Sure, depending on the cooler, it could be either loud or quiet. But for those sub $200 builds, definitely consider a GTS 450. I'm going to be doing another test here soon because I did acquire a Phenom quad core. Not going to specify which yet. I will show you in the video when it does come out, you greedy little bastards. But as a sniper in Battlefield 4, I heavily rely on super high refresh rates. You don't want to have any kind of lag. And GTS 450, 1 GB model, mind you, yes, 1 GB is more than sufficient enough at 720p to play Battlefield 4 even on 64-player servers at medium settings. So when you guys think about GTA 5, you normally think, oh my god, you need a really strong PC to enjoy that game. Oh wow, you really need to have lots of VRAM. Actually, I haven't heard that much. I made that part up. I haven't heard too many people say that you need a whole bunch of VRAM. But it is known as an extremely hard-hitting title on your hardware. And yes, even though it is extremely CPU dependent, I still thought it would be a relevant benchmark. Keep in mind, this came out in 2015 for the PC, and this card would have been 5 years old at this point. NVIDIA doesn't make drivers especially optimized to GTS 450 in The Witcher, or GTA, or Battlefield 1, does it? No, this is old ass shit. Playing GTA 5. I mean, I understand the 4790K is at 5 gigahertz, it's a quad core, 8 cores, hyper-threading. Don't care. Look at this. This card, you could potentially make this build for $400. $500 because of 4790K. Just get a 4790 and or 4770. Fuck, a 4670 or an i3 GTS 450. You can buy those new and get the GTS 450 for like another $40. You could have a sub $400 build that can give you these kind of results in games. I'm not saying it's the best out there. I'm not saying you physically can't do any better than what I've just shown you and displayed. Um, no, it is actually freaking amazing. GTA 5, I thought for a fact, especially with the 1 GB frame buffer, despite it being at 720p, would be the one game that this card could not physically put out any frames at all. And sir, some people are going to say multiplayer is a different story. And sadly, I don't have any footage to either confirm or deny that, but I will give my own opinion on it, and it was absolutely fantastic playable. Well over 60s, hovering between the mid 50s, and almost all scenarios. And yes, at this point, you can even consider bumping up the settings. I'm not saying you have to keep it at these settings, which I didn't specify. Everything is normal, no MSIA, no FXAA, everything at normal. Nothing fancy, and sharp post post FXAA post effects. I think it's whatever you do sharp, not so sharp, whatever. NVIDIA TCSS. I don't know. Um, Still looks better than the console, hands down, or if not, extremely damn near to the console. But when's the last time that your Xbox One or PS4 gets a solid 60 FPS plus and GTA 5 rolling through the city of Los Santos? That's right, probably once or twice, or never. I don't know. I don't have the hardware or the stuff necessary to benchmark a console. Shit. Me being the super famous YouTuber I am, I thought it'd be crucial to show you what the GTS 450 could do in graphics card accelerated programs such as OpenGL or CUDA acceleration for that matter. This is Cinebench R15. It will give you a pretty much base score of what your graphics card can do with OpenGL rendering. I was going to do a Sony Vegas comparison, but it doesn't seem to like CUDA right now. At least for my export settings, I can't find anything that will fully utilize the CUDA cores and still get 1080p 60 FPS. I can use XeCam and get 60 FPS with CUDA acceleration, but that is at 720p like my previous videos, which I am not proud of, except for the Gary's Mom ones. Those are a lot of work to do, and I really hope you guys enjoy them. But I also hope you guys enjoy this, because this is one of the a direction I would like to take the channel in for the future. I really, really am a spec head at heart, and I would love to do more content on this. With the money coming in, I'm going to divert a portion of my paycheck towards acquiring used hardware and seeing how it can still do. Is it original? No, but it's original for me. Well, I guess that will conclude the GTS 450. Just kidding. I'm going to show you guys how it looks like, because some of you guys are like, oh, um, well, no one's asked me yet because no one knows this video's out, but I'm just going to show you anyway. So, as you saw in the B-roll before, sorry, it was my first time ever shooting anything like that. It does feature a single design, a 6-pin power input, and nothing fancy. Black plastic shroud, black plastic fan, really no metal construction, no backplate. There is a retention core plate on the back on this specific model, that being the NVIDIA reference design, or founders, but yeah. Nothing fancy. The cooler is somewhat effective. It's not very loud. It's pretty easy to take apart and clean and everything. You always want to make sure you're doing that with these old cards. Probably replace the thermal paste. Get the damn dust out of the fins. If you're going to be using something used, you might as well clean it up and make it use the best that it can physically do, because you don't want to have the overheat and potentially ruin some of the lifespan that it may or may not have left. So, if you guys have enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, comment, or something down below. Like I said, this is my first time ever venturing into something like this, and it's something I really do hope to do in the future. I, again, do apologize for the B-roll quality. Shot with an iPhone 6S, yeah, you know it. Um, it's kind of hard, not gonna lie. I definitely need a tripod or something of that nature to keep stability and everything in check. I do hope to eventually afford a camera and a tripod, like I said before, and definitely a new microphone, because I can, and you can most likely definitely tell this is off of a headset, that being the Logitech G633. It might sound kind of lame, but I might do hardware reviews and everything of stuff I already have due to the lack of stuff coming in. So I do hope to stretch what I have a little bit through, maybe do water cooling guides, not water cooling guides, what the fuck, who am I? A water cooling review, temperature review, possibly an i7-4790K overclock tutorial, if you guys are interested in that, an i7-9775 for them retro i7 gamers wanting to get the last bit of performance out of their CPUs. I can definitely do that. I do have one on me, GTX 970. I can't get my graphics card to overclock that well, so there's no point in making a video on it, because shit, what do I know? Um, and yeah, maybe some build guides or some stuff that I found in Craigslist, or, and yeah, hopefully see you guys soon. Bye bye.